Good morning, Rovers. This is our 10th day at sea, and currently we are 980 miles offshore. Now that was quite the thing we saw this morning. So it was just before sunrise. I heard a lot of noise, got up on deck and found huge seas. They were monstrous, and the high winds, of course. So I immediately got into mode of taking charge of the situation, got the sail lowered, and when things looked like they were more or less under control, I went and got the anemometer and held it up, and it was 35 knots. 35 knots. That is a lot of wind for a little boat. Anyway, I suspect that the wind was probably higher to make those seas, and I was up on deck just as it was beginning to diminish. Now the wind is not very strong. We are dealing with the remnants of those seas. It appears that what we experienced was just the tail end of the low that's passing through. Now it's gone through. The wind direction now has swung around to the west. Like I said this morning, it was southeast, and southeast wind against an east-setting current creates havoc, and that's what we saw this morning. This wind is most likely going to continue to veer to the north. That was always what we were expecting. We were just expecting it about 12 hours ago. Anyway, that's what's happening. And I'm looking forward to that wind steadying up, because we've been dealing with these variable conditions. I don't want to say light and variable, but they were heavy and variable for a while now. Anyway, I've got a lot of wet clothes. If we can just get a little bit of warm air going, it'll dry out, and we'll be sailing in fine fashion again. Well, Rovers, I'm about to head up on deck. I have to replace a few lashings. So one is on one of the battens that somehow broke free, so I've got some more material and I'll go replace that, and then some on the chafing gear on the yard. I've dropped the sail right down to the cabin top, and I've lashed it off here to the handle, so it's not moving around. You can see that we still have pretty good size waves out there. They're probably 1.5 meters to 2 meters. The wind is just beginning to pick up, so we're going to do this job as quickly as possible. So I won't be able to take the camera with me. It's just too much movement up there, but I'll mount it up by the solar array, and you'll kind of get a general idea of where I am, what I'm doing. one of the lines is fouled, so I have to go up forward. On a small boat, it's absolutely critical to always go on the windward side when you're heading up forward on deck. And try to get your tether tied in somehow at all times, within reason. Guess what's on today's menu? Well, today's seafood omelet consists of 3 eggs, a tin of tuna, a tin of salmon, and a tin of sardines, a tablespoon and a half of grass-fed beef tallow, and 5 drops of iodine with salt to taste. Bon appetit! That's our AIS alarm going off. We have a sailboat, apparently a solo sailor, right in the very vicinity I am. In fact, we'll pass about 200 yards currently. I just want him to be aware, just in case he's off watch. Advins 1. This is the sailing vessel Wave Rover. Wave Rover on 1-6. Over.
Wave Rover, this is Advins 1.
Good to hear from you, Advins. It looks like you're going very fast. I'm also a solo sailor here on Wave Rover.
Where are you?
I am 5 miles on your starboard bow. Over.
Okay, great. Are we on a collision course or not?
We were close. We were 200 yards, but we're sort of dancing in and around it. I'm just about to knock off power because I've got a battery problem and I won't be transmitting on AIS. I just want to advise you so you have a visual on me. Over.
Okay, well, I haven't actually got you on my AIS just yet, so I'll keep an eye out.
Roger. Okay, this is Wave Rover. I'll be knocking off the power in a moment.
What's our distance?
We are inside 5 miles.
Okay, copy. I'll keep an eye out for you in the next 5 miles then.
Thank you very much. Wave Rover out.
Good luck and be careful with the weather.
Well, I'm going to keep an eye on Advins 1 solo sailor because he's sounding a little bit groggy to me, and he's traveling at 17 knots, and the closest point of approach is somewhere between 200 to 300 meters. So it's pretty darn close on the ocean, especially at that speed. He's the overtaking vessel. He's the one who has to give way to Wave Rover. Anyway, it's unfortunate I have to knock the power off, but we haven't been recharging our batteries now for over 3 days, and our batteries are down to 62% last time I checked. So we're going to have to deal with this. I think it might be the isolation switch. It's a hunch. I don't have any meters with me, so I'm going on this hunch. It's a relatively easy switch out. As it turns out, I do have a spare on board, so we'll see what that does to the system. All right, this is the switch that we're going to change out. And if that doesn't work, we're going to test to see if the conductors are actually conducting at that point. All right, wish me luck. Well, Rovers, Event 1, when he was at CPA, which is the closest point of approach, hailed me on VHF and told me a little bit about himself. He's on an Amoca 60, which is a pure racing machine, and they're on a race from New York to France. And I believe they're part of the VANE World Race. I don't know a lot about ocean racing, but he's part of it. He's a professional racer. Very interesting stuff. They actually have a camera, he was telling me, mounted on the mast, and it has AI software on it. So it could determine something like Wave Rover, and it would set off an alarm and wake him up so that he can take evasive maneuvers. So enough about that. The second issue I was dealing with, the power. We haven't managed to get power from the solar panels to the battery for 3 days. Mind you, it hasn't been that sunny, but regardless, we should have gotten something. So we've got an issue there. No easy fix. The fix I tried, swapping out the extra fuse I had with the fuse that was in there, did nothing. So we have about 60% power left in our collective 200 amp hours. If I get good winds, that'll be enough power for me to get to Horta. If I just use the power for comms and AIS, which are the two most important things, and of course navigation. So that means I have to cut something else. And the one thing that really makes a big draw on the power is the videos and video editing. I've been making a video every single day, and I was trying to put this complete body of work together of the entire trip, you know, sort of every day. And I've gotten almost halfway and I have to stop. Very sad about it. I should have enough power in the cameras that I can record the last day or two before Horta. I just can't edit it or download it. I'll have to wait till I get to Horta to do that. So that's the downside. It's been quite a day. You know, we started off with that really strong weather system. So it turned out that was an unpredicted low that just popped out of nowhere. Very small and intense as they usually are at that size. And it was clocked at 45 knots. So when I clocked it at the 35, it was already on the downside. So Wave Rover has proven herself to be the ultimate sort of heavy weather boat. I can't say enough about it. It was marvelous. It handled that weather so well. So after that, the whole area was in a vacuum, and only now at 4 p.m. as the weather started to fill in, just started from the south again. So we have a breeze, we're underway, and it's supposed to get better as the night goes on. 14 knots. So 14 knots, yeah, that'll be quite pleasant for the evening. Then again, on Sunday, we're supposed to get back up to 24, 25 knots. So I have to make a decision to either leave the Gulf Stream and seek safer waters, or stay in the Gulf Stream and use that 24 knots, gusting 28. I'll sleep on it. As always, Rovers, it has been a pleasure making these videos. I hope you continue watching. You won't even notice because of the time difference. There will be another video out next week. It'll just be quite a big jump from where I am today to when it's been videoed. Thanks for watching, and forge your own adventure.